So previously we have studied electric potential due to point charges, Noma. In the last classes we have studied electric potential due to point charges. Now we are studying electric potential due to rigid body, charged rigid bodies. Clear, ma? So what is meant by rigid body? So what is the difference between a point mass, point charge and a rigid body which is charged? What is the difference between them? Can you say? Difference between both of them is, so rigid body means it is an extended body. So which is a combination of millions and millions of point masses. So such a charged body, because of this we are trying to calculate electric potential at different points. Clear, ma? So first of all, I am taking a conducting sphere or a conducting shell. So what is the difference between a sphere and a shell? So shell is also a sphere, but here a sphere is nothing but it is a solid sphere, and shell is nothing but it is an hollow sphere. So that is the difference between both of them. Clear, ma? Solid sphere and hollow sphere, if they are conducting, then for both of them electric potential remains to be same. What is the reason? That we will study now. Clear, ma? See, ma, for example, if I take a solid sphere, so what is meant by solid sphere? Solid sphere means what? Don't be silent, you should answer. First of all, switch on your videos, all of you. Okay, ma? Solid sphere means what? Come on. Students, are you asleep? Solid sphere means what? Are you hearing my voice? Okay. So, now try to say what is meant by solid sphere. Solid sphere means inside this volume also mass is present. That is called a solid sphere, no? And to this solid sphere, if I give plus q amount of charge anywhere inside this sphere, then can you say what will happen? Come on, switch on your videos first of all. Okay? So to this solid sphere, if I give plus q amount of charge anywhere inside this sphere, anywhere, then what will happen? What is going to happen? Can you say? So this charge will go to the outside surface of this sphere and the charge will reside on the outside surface. This is what will happen now. So charge, it will go to outside of this surface and the charge will be distributed uniformly throughout the surface area of this sphere. So this is what is going to happen now. Clear, number? What is the reason? Because positive charges are like charges, they will repel with each other. Clear? So when charges repel with each other, they try to move away as far as possible from them. So they will go to the outside of this surface and they start residing on the outside. Clear? Now if I want to calculate electric field at this point T, then can you say how can I calculate? If I want to calculate the radius of this sphere, let it be capital R, and this point P, it is at a distance of small r. So at this point, if I want to find out electric field, how can I calculate? How can I calculate, ma? So already we have discussed many times previously, no? Very simple, by using Gauss law I can calculate, no? So you draw a Gaussian surface. You draw a Gaussian surface touching this point. Clear? And this Gaussian surface is having a radius of small r. So therefore, what is Gauss law? So closed integration of E dash dot ds dash is equals to 1 by E naught times of charge enclosed by that body. This is called as Gauss law, no? So therefore, so if I take a small surface area here, ds means very small surface area, no, ma? So electric field will be in this direction, and area of this small surface ds dash, it also will be in the same direction. So what is the angle theta between them? Angle theta between them is 0 degrees. Clear? So therefore, E integration of ds into cos 0 is equals to q divided by E naught. So why I am taking E out of the integration? Because E is a constant. Clear, no? So therefore, E integration of ds means what? ds means small surface area. Integration of ds total surface area. What is the total surface of the area of this sphere? So it is 4 pi r square. Total surface area of the Gaussian surface we are taking here. Clear ma? So cos 0 value is 1. So is equals to q divided by E naught. So therefore E is equals to q divided by 4 pi E naught into r square. So this is how we have calculated electric field because of this charged sphere number. So in Gauss law we have studied all these concepts already. Clear number? Okay. Now by looking at this equation, what do you understand? By looking at this equation, E is equals to q divided by 4 pi E naught into r square, what do you understand? That is my question. What we understand, sir, we don't understand anything. This you say, na? What do you understand? Huh? By this we have to understand this total sphere, it behaves like a point charge which is concentrated exactly at the center of the sphere. So electric field due to point charge also same formula, no? Electric field due to point charge also E is equals to q divided by 4 pi E naught into r square. So this total charged sphere is also behaving like a point charge only at a distance of r. At a distance of r means what? It means the total charge is concentrated exactly at the center. Clear ma? So if it is behaving like a point charge, then potential also I can write, no? Potential, how can I write? Potential at point P is equals to q divided by 4 pi E naught into r. So potential also definitely I can calculate. Are you able to understand? Because the sphere is behaving like a point charge, potential due to sphere is equals to q by 4 pi E naught into r, which is again the formula for potential due to point charge. Are you able to understand ma? Okay. Similarly, now what I want to do is, I want to do case number 2. This was case number 1. Clear ma? So what is case number 1? Case number 1 is electric potential outside the sphere at a distance of r from the center of the sphere. Clear? Now I want to calculate case 2. What is case 2? Electric potential on the surface of a sphere. On the surface of sphere. Clear ma? So what is meant by on the surface of sphere? It means this is the sphere whose radius is capital R. So it is uniformly charged. Clear ma? So here at this point P, I want to calculate potential. Now can you say what is the equation for this one? On the surface, what will be the potential ma? Anybody? That's all, no? So q divided by 4 pi E naught into capital R. So here instead of small r, I am writing capital R. Are you able to understand ma? Because for this sphere also, so definitely this sphere behaves like a point charge where total charge is concentrated exactly at its center. So therefore at a distance of capital R, this becomes my equation for potential too. So Vp is equals to q divided by 4 pi E naught into R. Are you able to understand ma? Okay. So first of all make a note up to here, then we will go to another condition. Come on. Okay ma, I am going to rub this one. Completed, no? Okay. So now I want to calculate case number 3. So what is case number 3? Case number 3 is, clear ma? Potential inside the sphere. Whether it is solid sphere or hollow sphere, that is shell, values are not going to change here because charges always reside only on the outside of this surface, no ma? So whether it is a solid sphere or hollow shell, so values always remains to be same. Clear ma? Now case number 3 is, so this is the sphere which is uniformly charged. Clear ma? So therefore I want to calculate at a distance of small r from the center of this sphere. So this is point P. So potential at point P I want to calculate. Can anybody say? 0. Yes, 0 is definitely correct. Potential you are saying, potential is not 0. Potential is not 0. Can you say what can be the reason? Okay, Sima. So first of all, if I take a Gaussian surface here, then closed integration of E dash dot ds dash is equals to 1 by E naught times of charge enclosed by this sphere. So inside this small sphere of radius small r, is there any charge present, ma? Is there any charge present? So inside this Gaussian surface, there is no charge, no? Charge resides only on the outside of the surface. So therefore what I can write? So E into ds into cos 0 is equals to 0 divided by E naught. Q is 0 because inside this Gaussian surface there is no charge. So therefore electric field also becomes 0. Clear, no? So inside a charged conductor, electric field is always equal to 0. Clear? So if electric field is 0, potential is how much? If electric field is 0, then what will be the amount of potential? Clear? So what is the relation between electric field and potential? First point. Relation between electric field and potential, already we have studied 1000 times. Clear, ma? So E dash is equals to minus dV divided by ds. Clear, ma? Or dx, anything you can write. Clear, ma? So electric field is equals to minus dV divided by dx. So already we have written this one, no? Clear? Now electric field is 0. So therefore I can write if E value is 0, then total dV by dx also will be 0 only, no? Clear? So if dV by dx is 0, then V value is how much? If E is equals to 0, dV by dx also is equal to 0. Then what is V value? Okay. V should be a constant, no? V should be a constant. Why V should be a constant? Because the differentiation of any constant is 0 only, no? Are you able to understand, ma? Differentiation of any constant should be 0 only. So therefore, if electric field is 0, then in that region, minus dV by dx is also 0. So therefore, I can say V should be a constant. V is not 0 here. What is V value? V is a constant. Why V is a constant? Have you understood, ma? Why V is a constant? I hope you have understood this one. Clear? So if dV by dx should become 0, then V must be a constant because differentiation of any constant is always 0. Clear? So okay, very good. So we have written V is a constant. Now V is how much? That also we have to calculate, no? Clear, ma? V is how much? Can you say, anybody? So one value which we have understood is potential inside the charged conductor or shell is 0. That we have understood. Now the question is how much it is. Potential is a constant inside the sphere, and the now question is how much it is. Clear? See, ma, on the surface of the shell here, potential is how much? On the surface of a sphere or shell, potential is how much, ma? Whose radius is a capital R. Vp is equals to Q divided by 4 pi E naught into R, no? This is the value of potential. Clear, ma? So total inside the volume of this sphere or shell also, potential remains to be constant. Clear? So therefore, if I take a point here, point P1, if I take a point here, point P2, if I take some point here, P3, therefore what I can write? Potential at a point P is equals to potential at a point P1 is equals to potential at point P2 is equals to potential at point P3. Clear? And total it is equals to Q divided by 4 pi E naught into capital R. Similarly, if I take potential exactly at the center of the sphere, then this is again equals to potential exactly at the center of the sphere. Are you able to understand, ma? So what is the potential which is existing on the surface of this sphere? Same potential will be existing throughout the volume of this sphere also. Whether it is a hollow sphere or whether it is an what you call solid sphere, value remains to be same. Why value remains to be same? Because the charge is residing only on outside surface of this charged conductor. Clear, ma? Come on, make a note up to here first of all. So up to here it is clear, no, ma? So what is the potential existing on the surface of charged sphere or charged shell which are conductors? Same potential will be existing throughout the volume of these bodies also. So this is a very important point. Clear? Now let us try to understand what is the actual meaning of this one. So, which is generally not discussed in books. So let us try to understand what is the meaning of the results we got quantitatively. Sima. So for example, this is a charged sphere. So total charge present on this one, let it be plus Q. Clear? So we have studied that electric field inside this sphere is 0, but electric potential is not equal to 0 and it is a constant. Can you say what is the meaning of this one, ma? What do you understand from this one? Can you say, anybody? Okay. These are the results which we got, no? Electric field inside a charged conductor is 0, but potential is not 0. Potential is a constant. What do you understand from this one? Okay. So basically what is meant by E value? E means what? E means what? E is nothing but force experienced per unit test charge, no? E means force experienced per unit test charge. It means that inside this conductor, charged conductor or sphere or a shell, if I place plus Q naught somewhere here, will this Q naught, will it experience any force or not? This Q naught, will it experience any net force or not? That is the question. Definitely this is a charged conductor. Charges are present on the outside surface of this sphere. I am placing a small test charge inside the volume of this sphere. Will it experience any net force or not? Come on. See, what is E value? E is equals to F divided by Q naught, no? which is 0 inside this charged body. So if E value is 0, force experienced is also 0, no? Net force experienced by this test charge is also 0. Are you able to understand, ba? It doesn't mean that it is not experiencing any force. It is experiencing force because of the charged particles. Are you able to understand, ma? But net force which is acting on this one has become 0. Are you able to understand, ma? Net force acting on this one has become 0. So therefore, force experienced by the test charge has become 0. That is the meaning of this one. Clear? Now it is also given that V is not 0, V is a constant. Now what is the meaning of this one? Can you say? V is a constant means what? So basically what is meant by V? V means what? Potential is nothing but work done per unit test charge, no? Potential at a point is nothing but work done per unit test charge to bring a particle from infinity to some point in the electric field is called as work done. Clear, ma? So if potential is 0, then what is the meaning of potential is a constant, then what does it indicate? It indicates that, for example, consider this is a point A and this is a point B. Clear, ma? So initially here there is a test charge Q naught. I want to bring this test charge from point A to point B. Then can you say what is the amount of work I have to do? So point A and point B both are present inside the charged spheres, conducting charged spheres. Clear, ma? So I want to bring a test charge from point A to point B. Then how much amount of work I have to do? Can you say, anybody? How much work I have to do? Come on. Basic concept you should be very, very clear, ma. Otherwise there is no 0. It is definitely 0. Can you say what is the reason? Why it is 0? So work done is equals to VB minus VA into Q naught, no, ma? This is the equation for work done, no? Work done is equals to potential difference multiplied by the charge which you are moving. Potential difference between both of them is how much? 0. Why it is 0? Because potential at point A is definitely equal to potential at point B. Both potentials are same. That's what we have been discussing, no? Potential throughout the volume of this conductor is how much? Potential is a constant. Constant means potential at point A and point B, they are equal. It means to move a charge from point A to point B, I need not do any work. That is the meaning of this one. Clear, ma? Same concept I can understand in another manner also. For example, let us consider there is a test charge Q naught which is present at infinity. There is a test charge which is present at infinity. Now this test charge, I want to bring this one up to point A. Then let my work done is W1. Clear, ma? Same test charge, I want to bring this one up to point B. then my work done is W2. Now can you say what is the relation between W1 and W2? So here I can say W1 is definitely equal to W2. That is the meaning of this one. Clear, ma? It means that potential difference between them is zero, no? So to bring the charge from this point to this point, I will do same amount of work. Similarly, to bring the same charge from again to second point also, I will do same amount of work because potential is same in between them. So therefore, definitely you can say potential inside the sphere is a constant. This is how we have to understand. Now is it clear, ma, all of you? Clear? So this is the most important point which you have to remember. So what is the potential existing on the surface of the charged conductor or a sphere? Same potential will be existing throughout its volume. This is satisfied only for conductors only. For insulators, this is not satisfied. Are you able to understand, ma? For insulators, why it is not satisfied? Because if you give charge to the any inside the volume of this insulator, charge will be present there only. It cannot move from one point to another point. Clear, ma? So this condition is satisfied only for charged conductors. Come on, make a note of this point. Completed, ma, all of you? See, ma, physics is such a subject, you should go on relate all the terms which we have studied previously and all the terms which you are studying now. Clear, ma? Relating them is very, very important. So once you are relate the previous terms and the present terms, then only it means that you have understood the topic clearly. Okay? If you are not able to relate them, then it means merely you are by-hearting the topic instead of understanding them. So, a very small sphere of mass 80 grams having a charge Q is held at a height of 9 meters vertically above the center of a fixed conducting sphere of radius 1 meter. Clear, ma? So consider this is a fixed conducting sphere whose radius is equals to 1 meter, and this one is also having a charge of plus Q. Clear? So there is another point charge which is present here. So its mass is equals to 80 grams and it is also having a charge of plus Q. Now at what height it is present by initially? It is present at a height of, how much height, ma? 9 meters. So therefore, so this total distance from here to here, this distance I can call it as 9 meters. Okay. So from this position, this charge is released. Clear? Then before touching this sphere, its velocity has become 0. It is repelling back and its velocity is becoming 0. Then we are supposed to calculate what is the amount of charge present on this sphere as well as this point sphere. Okay. So can you say how can I do this calculation, based on which logic can I do this one? Can you say, ma? So based on which logic can I solve this problem? Can you say, anybody? How can I do this one? Any idea? Come on. So I am releasing from this one from here. So because of its weight, it starts coming down, no? And because of force of repulsion between both of them, this charge is repelled also. So by the time it is coming into contact, its velocity has become 0. That is the given condition. Now by using which logic I can solve this problem? This problem I can solve by using law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy. Clear, ma? So already I have said, in total physics, if there is any very, very important equation, any important method of solving, then it is always law of conservation of energy, or you can call it as work energy theorem. And if only conservative forces are acting, same thing I can call it as law of conservation of mechanical energy also. So here, what are the different forces which are acting on this total system? One force is electrostatic force of repulsion, which is a conservative force. And another force is gravitational force, which is also conservative. So definitely all conservative forces are acting here. So therefore what I can write, instead of law of conservation of energy, I can say law of conservation of mechanical energy. What is law of conservation of mechanical energy? So K1 plus U1 is equals to K2 plus U2. This is law of conservation of mechanical energy, no? Clear, no ma? Okay. Now can you say K1 is how much? Initial kinetic energy is how much? Initial kinetic energy of this bigger sphere is how much? 0. It doesn't have any velocity, no? Similarly, initial kinetic energy of smaller sphere is also 0 because it is just released from there. Okay? So therefore, initial kinetic energy of bigger sphere and smaller sphere both are equal. Clear? Now can you say what is the potential energy existing between them? U1 means initial potential energy, no? So initial potential energy is how much, can you say? Initial potential energy is how much? Okay? Sima, here gravitational force is also acting, no? So gravitational potential energy also I have to consider. Clear? Which is called as mgh. So already we have studied that potential energy is always a comparable quantity. Potential energy is always a comparable quantity. This already we have discussed, Noma. So which one shall I take as my reference? So I will take this point, center of this bigger sphere, to be my zero potential energy reference. Okay. So already we have discussed this concept many times, Noma. Potential energy is always a comparable quantity. Clear? So first of all, you should define from where you are measuring the potential energy. So I am measuring potential energy exactly from the center of this sphere. It means here from up to this reference, I can say here I am taking the reference of zero potential energy. Clear? Therefore, what is the gravitational potential energy of this small sphere? Gravitational potential is m into g into h. H means it is present at what height from the center, ma? 9 meters, no? So mg into 9. So this is the gravitational potential energy of this small sphere. Then what is the gravitational potential energy of this bigger sphere? It is 0 because that is the reference we have taken, no? It is present at 0 potential energy reference. Clear? So gravitational potential energy of this smaller sphere is mgh. Now, between these two charged bodies, there is one more potential energy, no? What is that one more potential energy? When two charges, when they are separated by a small distance of r, electrostatic potential energy is also present, no? And what is the formula for electrostatic potential energy? Formula for electrostatic potential energy is K Q1 Q2 divided by R. That is the formula, no? So K Q1 Q2 are both Q only. So K Q square divided by R. R means the distance between them. Distance between them is how much? 9. Clear? So this completes my initial energy. Initial kinetic energy is 0 and initial potential energy is this much. Okay, ma? Okay. Now can you say, how can I calculate final kinetic energy? K2 is how much? K2 is how much? Come on. Final kinetic energy is how much? Final kinetic energy is 0 also. This is also 0 only. What is the reason? Because already he said that, no? So it falls until it is repelled back just before coming in contact. So just before coming in contact, it has come into rest position. So therefore, final kinetic energy of both the bodies is also 0. Clear, ma? Okay. Now, final potential energy is how much? So when it is at the point of repulsion, this charge now it is present here. Clear, ma? Now can you say final potential energy is how much? First of all, how many potential energies are there? Again, two potential energies are there. No, one is gravitational potential energy. Now this small sphere, it is present at what distance from the center of this bigger sphere? It is present at a distance of 1 meter. So gravitational potential energy is how much? mg into 1. Okay, ma? Gravitational potential energy is mgh. Similarly, these two charged bodies, they are separated by a distance of 1 meter, no? So actually it is about to touch. We cannot say distance between them is 0. Why we cannot say distance between them is 0? Because a charged body is such that its total charge is concentrated exactly at the center, no ma? For a charged body, total charge is concentrated exactly at the center. We can assume charged bodies like this. Clear? So therefore, for this bigger sphere, I can assume total charge is present at the center. And this is again a point charge. So what is the distance between both of them? Distance between both of them is 1 meter. So gravitational potential is energy is how much? Sorry, gravitational potential energy is mgh. Electrostatic potential energy how much? Again kq square divided by r. Now here r value is 1 meter, no? Here r value is 1 meter. Previously r value is 9 meters. Clear? So therefore, every value we know. K value, what is K value? K is equals to 1 by 4 pi E naught, which is called 9 into 10 power 9. Okay, ma? Mass is given as 80 grams. G value is 10. So from all this only unknown quantity is Q here. Q is unknown quantity. So can't I calculate Q value from this one, ma? I can calculate Q value, no? That is my answer. Come on. Try to calculate from here onwards. Understood, no, ma? So therefore, if I do this calculation, let us see what we will get. Okay, ma? So mass is 80 grams. So 80 into 10 power minus 3 kg. G value is 10 into 9 plus K value is 9 into 10 power 9 into Q square, I don't know. So Q square divided by 9 is equals to mass is again 80 into 10 power minus 3. G value is 10 into 1 plus 9 into 10 power 9 into Q square divided by 1. So from this just to calculate the Q value, that is my required answer. That's all, Nama. So if I solve this total value, the Q value which you should get is 20 root 2 microcoulombs. So 20 root 2 micro means 10 power minus 6 coulombs, or just you can write a 20 root 2 microcoulombs. So this is the answer which you should get. Okay, come on.